which is amazing.
Yeah, it is. But obviously a massive cleanup job for them there. But right now, given the circumstances in Homestead, that's just a small part of the problem. And you wonder about the economy of this town, which was really beginning to develop an identity of its own in South Dade County, and certainly a very close-knit community, a very proud community, and now they're in for one heck of a battle as they try to regroup.
Maurice, has there been an increase in helicopter traffic this morning? Do you see more and more choppers in the air trying to bring relief?
Yeah, you have quite a few military machines that's located around here now. They're in the neighborhood now, about 30, 40 aircraft.
And obviously it's keeping very busy bringing in supplies to the people.
Yeah.
That's affirmative.
Okay. All right, Maurice, thank you very much for these pictures from Homestead.
Maurice Johnson doing his thing again. Obviously flying that chopper like nobody else can.
Yeah, and giving us, bringing the story home via Skycam 7. It's 10:31 Thursday morning, and our coverage of the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew will continue right after this.
Is that beginning tomorrow, which is Friday, August 28th, and daily thereafter, Homestead Air Force Base will be open to assigned personnel from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. to permit them to visit their homes and survey their personal property. For members' planning purposes, the base currently has no electricity, water, telephone, or any other services available. Lodging and other services in the surrounding communities have likewise been affected by the hurricane. For safety and security considerations, individuals returning to Homestead Air Force Base will be asked to depart the base by 5 p.m. each day. Those returning are strongly discouraged from bringing young family members with them. And we'd like to put out this reminder, I'm sure you've been doing this already, but Homestead Air Force Base personnel should call the Homestead Information Line at 1-800-232-9916. Once again, that's 1-800-232-9916. And stay tuned to local news agencies for continuing updates.
What will happen to so many of the folks who have made Homestead Air Force Base their home? Will they be promptly relocated? And, well, let's deal with that question first.
Well, by the people calling into that 1-800 number, they're going to find out information about what's going to happen for their immediate needs, and that's what we're working on right now, is to take care of that. Once we get that part satisfied, then we also have plans in the works to take care of the longer-term needs, but I don't have specifics on that at all.
Major, our helicopter pilot, Maurice Johnson, said that the Air Force Base is nothing but a runway right now. Is there any idea, I know it's early, but how long it would take to rebuild that facility?
Or will it be rebuilt?
I'm sorry, I have no idea on that.
Will it be rebuilt?
That I don't know either.
So there is a possibility it might not exist in the future?
I couldn't tell you that because those decisions would have to be made by our congressional people, and that's not for the HH-60 helicopters were sent to Lakeland, Florida. Roads and streets on Homestead Air Force Base were impassable immediately following the storm. That's all I have right now.
Yeah.
So just to repeat, though, tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock will be the first time the military personnel can return to Homestead Air Force Base.
That's correct, and that'll be from 8 until 5, and that's to permit them to visit their homes and survey their personal property, and that'll happen daily from then. And as I said earlier, we're asking folks not to bring young family members with them, and a reminder that there is no services available. There's no electricity or water or telephone for these people, and that they also have to keep in mind that lodging and other services in the surrounding communities have been taxed by Hurricane Andrew or maybe non-existent. So there is some risk involved by going back at this time.
Major,
people want to do that.
Sure. We are looking at pictures now of the Air Force Base, and I don't know what you've seen, but what we're seeing now is an awfully terrible situation. I mean, a lot of your personnel, quite honestly, won't have anything to go back to because many of their homes are going to be in total devastation. We're looking at a lot of helicopter
Looks
traffic.
like Coast Guard helicopters, I believe.
Describe for us the type of traffic and activity that's occurring now at Homestead and what we can expect to see in the next few days and few weeks.
From what I understand, there have been different teams that have either on their way or already on the ground, and the types of folks would consist of civil engineers, military-based civil engineer types, or security police to make sure that the base is secure. And obviously, there's those types of things going on, and will continue to go on in the future.
At some point, I would think you've got to shut this base down totally, including to the former residents, just so you can clean it up and then decide what to do.
I've said earlier that plans are being worked out. I have no idea if that's part of the consideration.
Major, do you know what's the number of personnel that you had there at the base? Roughly.
Roughly, it was 4,700 military members and civilian workers. And now that does not include the family members at all. I don't have a figure on the number of family members for Homestead Air Force Base.
So it's feasible that you're talking about a community there of maybe 8,000 people, 9,000.
Could be. That's probably a good rough guess.
Have you been told where most of the military went? Did they stay in South Florida? Did they go to other facilities? Or
We have people scattered out all over the place, and that's why that 1-800 number is very important. If I can go ahead and repeat that number, that's 1-800-232-9916 for the Homestead Air Force Base people to call into. And that's for military members to call into if they're with their families. That's also for family members if they were separated from their military member.
Yeah.
Let's say somebody was... the military member was assigned someplace else to another base for school or something like that, and the family had to evacuate on their own. We certainly want to know where that family is, because if the military member calls in and says, hey, I need to find out where my wife is, we should be able to tell them from this
Sure.
this list.
Sure.
So that's a very important number.
Yeah, indeed it is, and rest assured we'll show it quite often today. Do you have a dollar estimate of the damage to the base? And my second question is...
No, I don't.
All right.
Go ahead with your second question.
All right. Does the Air Force have a budget, a disaster budget, if you will, for meeting this kind of situation?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't help you on that.
is there concerns, though, with the military budget? There was talk in the past that Homestead would possibly be shut down. This was, a few months ago before the hurricane hit, that there is a real possibility that this facility wouldn't be rebuilt?
Once again, anything having to do with the rebuilding of Homestead Air Force Base or relocating of the wing or any of those type of questions, it's too early to tell, and unfortunately, we don't have those answers down here because we don't make those decisions here.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, any line of questioning along that, I can't help you on.
Answered like a true public relations man. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, okay.
Major, my final question before you leave, can we expect the military to provide assistance to the other residents of Homestead or to the entire Homestead community? Because as I'm sure you know, it isn't just the Air Force Base that has been ravaged down there, it's the entire community.
Just from what I've watched on CNN and some of the about all the FEMA relief and listening to the press conference that was handled by the Army general that is in charge of the DOD portion of disaster relief, I'm sure that this is going to be some sort of side-by-side effort to make sure that everything can be returned to some semblance of order.
All right, Major, thank you so much for joining us, and we will certainly pass that advisory along to the Homestead residents, your military and civilian personnel. And if we can for a minute, I'd like to go back to those pictures of Key Biscayne, because that's an area that was hit hard by Hurricane Andrew. The Key has been closed for a number of days since the storm. I don't know what the situation now is with traffic. I do know that